Hey, it's Kiwi, and welcome back to Minecraft Homebound. This is episode 4, and I'm excited to be doing this format again. I have changed a couple of things on the back end, though. However, the format isn't all that has changed, and I can feel a pattern growing already as I inform you that I have removed Gipples Galore, the mod that adds in those tentacle creatures, and added in a new mod. The new mod is Respect My Trim, which just adds in the feature of if you use the gold material for trimming armor using one of the smithing templates, then that also makes piglins passive as though you're wearing like gold boots or a gold helmet. I honestly think that should be a feature by default, and so having a mod for it is just kind of my compromise. And it makes it so I don't have to sacrifice any resiliency for general safety while in the nether. You may also notice that my resource pack has changed just a little bit, with the helmets now looking a little bit more like cat ears or horns on the side of my head, depending on how you look at it. And that was just me changing out the resource pack. Nothing more. I just want to be able to see my flower crown. So that's what I did. With intro completely out of the way, let's move on to the actual events of the episode. The first thing I decided to do was go into the nether and gather some netherite. That way I could upgrade my equipment and have more reasonable tools and armor for any situation. I brought into the nether enough materials to make at least a stack of beds and then some. And I know that sounds weird, but it's just 64 and then some additional beds. And a real quick side note, why is farming wool so difficult without a proper farm? I didn't realize how challenging it would be, and I have since created a sheep pen back home. It's not going to be in this video. I made it off camera after I finished this video, but why is it so hard without having sheep just available to you? And even when you do have sheep available to you, why is it still difficult? Because they drop a random amount? Just drop more, or drop a consistent 3. Sorry, a bit of a tangent. While I was down there, I managed to find a total of 16 ancient debris, which is really only enough for 4 items. But hey, getting 4 of my things upgraded is better than nothing, at least. Unfortunately for me, I remembered I didn't have the smithing template at the time and should probably head off to go do that. And so I set off in the opposite direction to the Nether Fortress, just because I've explored beyond the Nether Fortress already, and it doesn't seem like it goes towards anything really useful or important. So I just went the opposite direction, dug through the wall for quite some time, and it took a little bit, but I did eventually find a bastion, and there were brutes everywhere. So I quickly went and grabbed myself some lava to take care of them, because lava is very handy. And I'm actually kind of terrified of bastions for some reason. Even this treasure bastion is terrifying. And I think it's just because brutes are a really, really strong enemy to go up against. And while, yeah, you can choose them with lava, it's still really hard to deal with everything about them, especially since for some reason my headset doesn't fully give me the right direction for audio, even though I have superhuman hearing on it. I'm going off on a random tangent at this point. I am so sorry. Regardless, eventually I did find a template to use for my stuff later, and I only managed to find one, but once I found one, I remembered that you can craft them. So I did not care about getting more than one. I just wrapped up my stuff at the bastion and made my way back home, where I could be safe and sound from, albeit a very interesting looking structure. Unfortunately, when I got back home, I remembered that I need diamonds and netherrack, but I didn't remember that it was diamonds plural and netherrack singular. So I had the recipe backwards in my head, and after trying it a couple times, I eventually looked it up and discovered that it was 7 diamonds to each template. So I had to go mining once again and go deep into the mines, hunting for diamonds. I have also since gone and adventured around that cave just to find more stuff. It's a big hassle getting enough diamonds for this. Although I did eventually get enough diamonds to, at the very least, duplicate the template a total of 3 times and use those 3 duplicates to upgrade certain pieces of my gear. Which I started with my pickaxe and my helmet and chestplate, as those things are probably my most effective defensive things. As for the rest of my armor and tools and whatever else I need, I'm just gonna go and get that stuff between videos, and I have already been working on that because, you know, I'm obviously doing the voiceover after I've finished the video, and sometimes I can't record for multiple days. That's on me. Anyway, regardless, I will do the rest between videos, so don't even worry about it. My next decision was not to head straight into the end, actually. I know that's what it may seem like due to the thumbnail that I spent way too much time on, but my next decision was to deal with villagers because I wanted to bring over some and make my area a little bit more alive. And I recognize that, like, I'm not using a villager hall, which is considered the most efficient way to be using villagers before they hopefully eventually get their rebalance. But that is just because for some reason I find it a little bit inhumane to do it that way. And so I am sticking to having a nice open air village that just has pathfinding barriers so that zombies cannot come on in, and neither can the pillager raids. Like the raiding parties, like those are just kept outside of the village, which is very nice for what I'm doing, and the villagers are kept inside so that they can, you know, be perfectly safe. And I recognize that me saying they're inhumane and then you watching me build a villager breeder seems contradictory, and I recognize that it is. But unfortunately for me, both a villager breeder and an iron farm are really useful things in general, so I'm gonna have to make them, even though I'm going to hate making them. So, apologies for semi-conflicting information. Just know that I hate this as much as you all do, probably. Regardless, I ended up making the breeder incorrectly, actually. I've since fixed it off camera as well. There's a couple things that I've had to fix off camera for this video already. But I made the villager breeder incorrectly, so I've fixed that now. But after constructing a villager breeder, I took 3 of the villagers straight over to my little village and gave them each a job and a bed so that they could, you know, have it be considered a proper village. I'm thinking of going and stealing a bell from one of the more distant villages just to have an actual chance for them to just naturally spawn iron golems at home. That way I have some form of a pseudo iron farm, so I maybe don't have to fully commit to an iron farm yet. That is what I ended up getting up to before I decided it was time to head to the end. Now that we are off to the end properly, I can inform you that, like, I updated my porch and also had to gather more wool. Please go back and listen to my sheep rant if you want to understand. Like, I had to do this twice, okay? It was really frustrating. Doing this twice was extremely frustrating, but I did manage to do it. So that's a good thing. I was gathering the wool not for the porch, but for actually bed cycling in the end, as that is one of the most effective ways to quickly defeat the dragon. Her name is Jean, by the way. I don't know if people know that very well, but her name is Jean, and she protects her egg. As I wrapped up finishing my porch and, you know, gathering at least enough inner eyes to make my way all the way to the stronghold, I obviously, you know, went off to find the stronghold. And it turns out that it was like down and underneath a mountain. So I just dug into the side of a mountain and dug straight down hoping I would hit the stronghold, and that worked out as I entered the stronghold. In here wasn't too big of a deal. I managed to quickly find myself at the portal, although I took several wrong turns before I made it to the portal, but I did make it to the portal. Of course, I mined the silverfish spawner so that it would not be bothering me while I'm in there, filling out the portal. And I built myself a little nether portal so that I could go and quickly pick up the ender pearls from bartering or from endermen, because they spawn more frequently inside of warped forests, and I was really banking on a warped forest. As you can see, that is not what I got. I ended up having to barter for them, and I did eventually get enough, which is great. I then made my way into the end, as you can see by the portal being lit. And I forgot some things. There were some things that I completely forgot about, so I ended up having to quickly improvise something. I can't remember what it was, but I do distinctly remember that I really messed up on something and had to reassess. Oh, it was my water bucket. That is what I missed. I completely left my water bucket back in the overworld, so I was just kind of screwed. Now that I was in the end, it was time to take on Jean and utterly destroy her. I don't really have enough talking material to fill the entire fight, which is 16 minutes, but I'm gonna do my best, okay? And the way I think I'm gonna fill this time is I'm actually going to talk about some amount of behind the scenes things. So as you noticed, I didn't go day by day for this entire thing, and that's because I instead went by events. I wanted to do goal and achieve, goal and achieve at least around 4 goals per video in some way. And, I did actually end up fulfilling technically 5 goals because I went with 5 events this time instead of what I'm hoping will be a little bit easier on me as less events. The issue is just changing the format has allowed me much more freedom and a little bit more stability in understanding how this format is going to work in the future. And so that is just going to be an utter delight to do. I also want to bring up the camera work you're seeing right now. It took a long time to figure out that I can just pull up the tray. I can pull up the tray and add more than 6 cameras. I could not figure that out for the life of me earlier. But regardless, I did eventually find out that I could have way more than 6 cameras active at once, which is why these 16 minutes have such insane camera work to them. I spent way too long making these 16 minutes look as good as they possibly could. And part of that is that really interesting dragging camera I managed to get. I cannot believe that I actually managed to do that as well as I did. I know that there's a little bit of a fumble to it, and that's a me problem, but the fact I was able to do enough of it is so good. Another thing that you may notice about the camera work is that when it switches scenes, it looks like the camera is already in motion. I was trying to do that before, and eventually I did figure out how to do it properly. So I hope you guys enjoy that little added and improved thing. I probably won't fill time with this back end stuff again, just because I don't want to fill it with that. I don't want to fill time with that. So I'm actually going to encourage you guys to use the comment section. Tell me something interesting that you do. Tell me a random interesting thing about your day, or about anything at all. It doesn't even have to be interesting. It can just be something that you did that day, or today, or tomorrow. You could tell me about it tomorrow if you wanted, or yesterday. Just give me some form of event and I will chat about it, and chat about maybe how I relate to it, or whatever else. And maybe I'll even put your comment in the next video as I go about talking about whatever the thing is. I really want to learn more about the world as a whole. I would very much enjoy learning about other cultures. So maybe if there's something different that you do in your culture than we do here in the United States, which, yes, I recognize that I'm in the United States and I'm not talking about very delicate topics. Believe me, if I was okay with this channel talking about those things, I would. But it's not worth it. I don't want to ruin the cozy vibes. I am very sorry for this even small snippet of bringing up politics. But just recognize that I don't like it here. And it would just be more interesting to learn about other places anyway outside of the United States, because I feel like we take up the digital stage enough. So if other people would enjoy taking up the digital stage and allowing their voices to be heard, even in this tiny little corner of the internet, go for it. Leave comments down below. I'll chat about it, see if I can relate to it in some way. And if you want me to, like, adopt something from your culture, go ahead and include that. Let me know that you want me to try, like, this one specific tea that you were able to do. I may not have the money to do it, but I can eventually figure out how to do it. And I will tell you about my experience if I can manage to do it. Anyways, I think I filled enough time at this point, so thank you for listening to me rant and ramble about both behind the scenes things that are making me really excited, that I'm so happy I'm gonna get to do more of this, just because I want to make another one. I want to make another one right now. And I know I'm already in the middle of making this episode, but I want to make another one. This is too much fun for me. So... And with that, unfortunately, this is the end of the actual video. Of course, there is going to be another blooper reel at the end of this one, because I assure you, I fumbled lines again. This time I fumbled so many more, so hopefully that part of the video is a decently long section, and you guys get some good fun entertainment out of me screwing up the lines as I'm going about. If you did enjoy this, and you do enjoy the bloopers after the fact, then feel free to leave a like or a comment on what part of this was your favorite, whether it was the bloopers that are coming after this, or if it was some other section in the video, like my intro being shorter, because I know that was a problem in the previous one, or just something else like I was bringing up towards the end of the content. Just whatever comes to mind, feel free to comment. This is a safe place for everybody, unless you're an asshole. And yes, I am going to swear right here. And that's about it for me. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye! You may also notice that my resource pack has changed just a little bit, with my helmet now looking a little bit more like cat ears or horns on the side of my head. I simply just wanted to have more of my skin showing, because helmets are weird and they still kind of cover up things. And they were hiding and it was hiding my flower crown. That is what the line should be. It was hiding my flower crown. Nah. I'm getting too many blooper clips as I try to frickin' scripted lines this time. I am so tired. It's 9:47 in the morning. I should not be this tired. I altered my minimal armor resource pack, which I made myself, into... Wow, I heard my voice crack. Did the program hear my voice crack? Then I'm on that adds it in, called Respect My Trim. So now I have it, and I don't have to sacrifice my resiliency for any reason. I kind of messed up that line. It's supposed to be sacrificing my resiliency for safety. And I'm very tired. I'm going to just re-record this line. So to open this video, I decided that I would actually like to go and gather netherite, obviously to upgrade my armor. And so I brought in the materials of... Oh geez, I'm already losing the plot. I'm like here, but not. I woke up like an hour ago. I'm so tired. So I set off in the opposite direction to the... What the hell is going on with my throat? Oh wait, I shouldn't be swearing my bloopers. I recognized this was going to be a blooper so fast. I just completely forgot that I probably shouldn't swear. Unfortunately, when I made it, oh my gosh, I think I squeaked back, so I'm going to take that again. Just inch it. I'm just going to make this another fumble line. It's fine. After I had finished upgrading everything, my actual first decision was, oh my gosh, I'm squeaky. I hate being squeaky. I need to drink water. Hey, anyone who stuck around for the bloopers, drink water right now. Do it. I need to. I forget that it's important. Regardless, it took a very long amount of time, but I got enough to, at the very least, do a decent bed cycle. And, oh, wait. No, I need to undo this one. God damn it, I fumbled every line.